The GM meetings, there was a lot of proposed rule changes and
Shut up!
Sorry, Jesse sneezed.
I sneezed. I'm sorry.
a lot of proposed rule changes, but I mean, we kind of went through them last episode. I'm going to read something from Elliot Friedman. Last September, when the GMs and coaches met, because the GMs meetings used to be now and in June. And it was good for the insiders in June because they'd be making trades and getting ready for the draft. But most of the time, they couldn't get anything done because nobody cares about rule changes in June. You care about draft, you care about free agency, you care about making trades. So they're moving them to September. So last September, when the GMs met in Chicago, the league made it very clear that it was important that they agree to wear microphones and allow access where they'd been stingy in the past. In December, Bettman, unhappy with the number of times promises were denied, in some cases after initial approval, made this disapproval very clear and demanded things change. Several sources who saw his memo said he included something along the lines of, it is not an exaggeration to say the future growth of the NHL depends on him.
Hey, look at that.
And I just wanted to say,
wow.
flowers where it's due. Listen,
He's right.
and I'll
He's
tell you
right.
this. Soccer doesn't like, but as a big Formula One fan who watches every race, mid-race, they will talk to a team principal who's running the race. Like, his drivers are out there, and they're like, how do you feel about your race so far? And they get 3-4 questions in. You could see, in the States, Emily Kaplan in between benches all the time. You see it on TNT as well. Like, for some reason, and I know the Leafs are number one on the list of teams that are saying no to this. Number one, because you can't, just because you wear blue and white, you can't talk to anybody. Everybody shut up, stop asking us questions. This has got to change. This got to change.
It's definitely especially a Canadian problem. Like I'll watch an American broadcast and I'll see them talking to a coach mid-game.
Yes.
Like, what?
And that's the point. They are all 32 teams are supposed to be doing this. I didn't know that, but they're supposed to be doing it regularly, like every game regularly. And they're all saying no.
NFL Films has everything. If you
Yes.
if you ever seen NFL Films broadcast, so like if there's an important moment in a football game, they have one of those guys mic'd up and they have access to everything and they'll just air it. Like what the other leagues are doing with access to players, like it's not even fair in comparison. The NHL needs to get on that level.
Absolutely. And Gary Bettman recognizing that is a breath of fresh air, because I don't know if 5 years ago he would have felt the same. And there's a lot of things that they're behind on. But this is it's clear that in this world, this is what you need to do to succeed.
Yep. The reason that like Full Swing is taken off, right?
Oh, man,
you
Full
fall in love with all these golfers because of the access. You know, you're seeing these people be real people, and that's all we want to see out of these NHL players. And thankfully, this Amazon thing, it looks to be moving pretty well. You know, looks like they're going to get a whole bunch of guys and have great access to that. But yeah, they need more mic'd up moments. They need more behind the scenes footage. Like, that's going to grow the game.
And to that point, Jesse, the Amazon series, Chris Johnson let a couple names drop on insider trading.
Hit me.
So apparently this idea, so the idea, if you haven't heard, is Amazon's going to do a series where they follow 10 to 12 superstars around the league next year. Kind of is going to feel like Amazon's version of like what a Full Swing or Drive to Survive.
Quarterback.
Yeah. Which is a great idea. Names on the series so far that have apparently been well received. Like, hey, we love this idea. Leon Draisaitl.
Hey.
Of course.
Great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid.
Of course.
Nice.
Austin Matthews.
Of course.
And my personal favorite, and Jesse will love this, William Nylander.
Hey.
Of course. Yep.
And listen, there are more names and they're going to follow more people. But the fact that after the catastrophe, which was the Leafs, whatever the Amazon Leafs series was, because the Leafs would not allow them, All or Nothing, would not allow them to use 70% of the footage that they shot. Oh. What you saw was just a thin little thread of what the Leafs PR would allow out. I love this for the league because the Leafs can't control it. As much as I love the Toronto Maple Leafs, they have way too much control and on this sort of stuff. You need to let fans in. This is the new age. This is what you have to do.
Drama matters.
Drama, of course, drama matters. And here's the thing: drama matters like to people that maybe are so on the game. Yeah, like hockey. What if you could turn, like, we're already hardcore fans. We built our careers around this. What if you could turn some not hardcore fans into hardcore fans?
How about this? You're worried about putting out fires. Like, people are worried about getting radioed, and people are worried about like a quote getting out there. How about You don't have one of the most catastrophic playoff losses in your team's history.
And explain it away.
And then you're positive. It's obviously not positive, guys. So you're just letting everyone's imaginations run wild. Why not just be like, here's the ugly truth?
Yeah.
And
So
here it is.
what Steve is talking about is at the end of the All or Nothing series, the Leafs lose again. And from there in the show, there's no drama for them being upset at losing, for them being sad. None of the consequences for losing. It kind of just ends on, you know what?
It
we'll
ends
try
with
again.
Jack Campbell crying.
We'll try again
No.
next year, and they're a little disappointed.
No, it ends with Sheldon Keefe and Brandon Pridham and Kyle Dubas in Kyle's shitty office.
Yes.
The office is shitty. I'm sorry,
It's
it
shitty.
is. It's a shitty office, and they're throwing magnets against the board of who's going to be who the lines are next year. That's how it ends.
Let's
Bart out of the
fucking
blue.
try it again.
And no recognizing that, hey, this is where we erred. No sit down of, hey, we didn't do this right, or we didn't do this enough, or we're really disappointed. They didn't even say that. It's so crazy because like you'll see Full Swing, you'll see what's the tennis one? It's good too.
No, it's not. It's
You don't
getting,
like
it's
that
getting
one?
canceled. No.
Oh, I liked it. I
No,
thought
it was very poorly.
well, I enjoyed it.
received.
How
Yeah.
about that
Dri-
moment heading into Game 7 with Mitch Marner? Hey, Mitch, are you okay? Yes, said Mitch. Obviously not okay. All right. Proceeds to go out there and lose Game 7. That's all we got?
Yeah.
Surely that's not all there was.
No, it wasn't. But the Leafs, here's the thing. The Leafs not having control over this is the best thing for the NHL because here's what's happening. You're seeing every other sport doing it. You're seeing, look at the growth of the PGA. Man, they caught the Live PGA merger on that freaking show. How crazy is that? They caught that. The drama around that is like this season is so good.
Where does that rank in terms of the biggest stories in the history of golf?
Might be one of the biggest in the history of sport.
Yeah.
And most consequential too. And you look at how little we know about how the NHL operates. You go back and again, it's the drive to survive model for Formula One. Formula One is not in 3 American races today if it isn't for that Netflix show. They're not in Vegas. They're not in Miami. They would do the circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and that'd be it. And so I look at this and I go, everybody else is doing it. These teams are resisting it, and the dam is about to burst. Because if Gary is saying it's about damn time, then you know it's going to happen. And once it happens, these players are ready to explode. These guys have great personalities.
Gary Bettman is like, hey, guys, we're not being forward-thinking enough.
That's
Like,
outrageous.
Come on, man. Now, here, I want to play a fantasy game with you guys.
Definitely not
is it a-
fantasy hockey.
No, not fantasy hockey. Not fantasy
Is
hockey.
it adult fantasy hockey or little kids?
It's wow.
Mickey Mouse
Wow.
fantasy hockey.
Okay.
Hey,
now,
Jesse, you want a participation ribbon? All of us get one.
First thing is scratch Jack Hughes. No. What would you...
Let Ian tell kick your ass in a trade.
I mopped him. How dare you?
Number 1, but places don't matter.
Everybody's number 1. Dangle Navy League, everybody. We all win.
You know what? You're getting in. You're getting in. I'm going to be Brad Marchand about this.
in a
You're
real
going to get it.
league.
You're about to get it.
Do you guys keep score?
Yeah.
Keep score.
You guys
By
keep
the way,
score.
that's for all of you Dangle Navy guys too. I'm just wondering, if you don't make the playoffs, or if you don't have to make the playoffs, what's the point of keeping score?
Why do you guys even play the regular
Why even
season?
play? Why not start
Yeah.
in April?
Why don't you guys start this week?
Yeah,
that could be
you
the
can-
start of your season.
That's
Makes a lot of sense.
Sarcastaball, the SDP episode. How dare you?